Hello, beautiful people. I'm Ayda. Welcome to Unconventional Counseling. It's so good to have you here. If you are part of the tribe and you've been here before, welcome back. Welcome back. It's good to see you. And if you're brand new and you're wondering what this is about, welcome. We're gonna find out. I got a message for y'all. So, there is a full moon in Aquarius on August 11th or 12th, depending on your time zone. And this full moon is bringing in so much energy. It's transiting Saturn in Aquarius. So the full moon is going to be at 19 degrees and the Saturn in Aquarius is going to be at 22 degrees. They're just 3 degrees apart from each other. So with the full moon's entire transit through Aquarius, it's going to be passing over Saturn, who I like to call Daddy Saturn. So this is why I'm wearing my daddy cap. This is why I'm wearing a blush pink tracksuit, just to call in some softness, but also some firmness, because we got some things to talk about. So we recently had a conjunction in Taurus with the North Node, Mars, and Uranus, who's been hanging out in Taurus and is gonna be in Taurus for about 8 years. And Uranus and Taurus don't love each other. They don't. Uranus is actually really reminiscent of Aquarian energy. It loves to shake things up. It's a revolutionary. It wants to break shit. It wants to do things in a new way. And then we have Taurus, who wants to go all slow and steady, like, the tortoise and the hare, and win the race in their own way. These energies conflict, and these energies actually square one another. So we have a square going on between the Aquarius energy, the moon and Saturn, with the Taurus energy, the North Node, Mars, and Uranus. We're also having the Aquarian energy oppose the Leo energy. So it's happening real big, everything that we're feeling it in our whole bodies, we're seeing it in our lives, and then the Leo energy is also squaring this Taurus energy. So, the imagery that I have for you. You ready? Imagine a grandma, an elderly woman with a big ass pocketbook. And in this pocketbook, she picks up everything she thinks she's gonna need just in her day to day. And if not for her, for somebody else. So that means when she goes to the restaurant, she gets a ketchup packet and a wet wipe. When she goes to the restroom, she gets some of that good Kleenex and she puts it away for next time. Or if someone around her has a runny nose. She walks out the store and she finds change on the ground and she puts it in her pocketbook too. She is squirreling away resources for another time, whether for herself or for a community member that she will pass along her way and she will greet within her day. Now, one day, Granny has this sudden realization that what she has always desired, for the purposes of this example, is to be like an embroiderer. She wants to embroider scarves, she wants to embroider handkerchiefs, she wants to embroider people's names onto towels. This is her dream. She wants to create something so niche, but for the longest time she felt that she wouldn't make enough money, she wouldn't be able to sustain herself. It wasn't practical because of how creative it was and how niche it is. However, one day when she realizes, you know what? It's the time. It's really what I want to do. I'm not getting any younger. Here I go. She also realizes that all of the people that she thought she wouldn't have before, all the clientele, the possible clientele, they are going to be the people that she helped all along the way. They're the people she gave them Kleenexes to when their noses were running. They're the people that she gave some change to when she had a little bit for them to get on the bus. They're the people that she was supportive of and she freely gave to in all of these different iterations of circumstances of their need. And they are going to be the people, or at least some of the people, who are going to support her when she steps out in this new way, doing the thing that she wants to do. People love to support you when you've supported them before, and you've supported with your whole heart, and you've given with your whole heart. They love it. They love it when you're doing the next thing. The people who really appreciate and value you, and really appreciate and value what you're trying to create. They just will. They'll find you, they'll follow you, they'll be loyal to you, they'll provide for you, they'll support you, just the same ways that they feel that you have done so for them. All right. So with these squares going on, she has this sudden realization, right? That's Uranus in Taurus, Mars in Taurus. It has to happen right now. North Node in Taurus is covering this energy of, you know what? Actually, I'm going to be provided for, because all that Aquarian energy I have given to my community time and time and time again. I've invested in my community and they're going to invest in me. And so for her to do this in a Leo way, she has to take that pocketbook and she has to dump all the contents on the ground, because she needs to find out, does she have scraps of fabric for this to begin this endeavor? Does she have needles, the sewing kit that she needs? Does she have spools of thread of different colors, different thickness, different textures, so that she can create the beta line, the very first line of, I don't know, Ernestine's embroidery? I was like, I don't know who she is, but this is the energy that I was picking up. This is the vision that Spirit gave to me. This is the metaphor that I channeled. And it's so gorgeous to me. This is what's happening within the collective around this energy. This is one of the possibilities, because Uranus and Taurus kind of does what the fuck they want. And if this is an energy that resonates with you, let's continue. So, practically, in the 3D, you may be feeling a lot of pressure financially right now. You may be feeling like you can't make ends meet. You may be wondering what's going on and why it feels so hard right now. And this is something that's also happening to me. You know, we're all a part of the collective, so we tend to experience things at a similar time or in similar ways, whether directly in our own pocketbook that's straining and struggling, or whether indirectly, you know, let's say we work with others, our coworkers or our clientele are starting to struggle in this way. And I'm so grateful that I remember that I'm part of the collective. I'm so grateful that I have the relationship that I do with Spirit, so that when these things come up and they manifest, it doesn't stay as, oh no, woe is me. So let me tell you my story. My story this week. I got stories for days, I got stories for days, I got stories for days. So this week, for the first time in 2 years of working for myself, as a healer, as a counselor, as a spiritualist, as a creative, the first time in 2 years, I didn't receive a paycheck. You heard that right, yeah. When it was time to pay the taxes, when it was time to pay the expenses, personal expenses and business expenses, there was no money left over. For the first time in 2 years. And the first place I went was to work. And I just kept repeating in my mind again and again, there's not enough? I don't understand. Why isn't there enough? What did I do? What can I do? Why isn't there enough? Just repeating again and again and again, overwhelmed within, stressed, real stressed inside. And again, I say that I'm so grateful for Spirit, and I'm so grateful for my relationship with Spirit, because they reminded me of my basics. They reminded me of my pocketbook full of goodies, things that I've been collecting over the years, self-care strategies. They reminded me that I could journal. So I sat and I was journaling, and I found out all the things that I was feeling and all the things that I was afraid of in terms of this new experience in my reality. They reminded me that I can take a spiritual bath and I can infuse it with all my intentions, and I can speak over it, that I'm allowing and I'm receiving so much abundance, and that I can release the fears that I have around there not being enough, because there's always been enough and there will be enough. I've had my needs provided for so many times over. Even when there was like nothing, then there was a person that could help. Even when there was like nothing, then there was a home to stay in. There was a couch to sleep on. There's always been something. There's always been something when I really didn't have nothing to put down, 2 cents to rub together. Not one fathom, as my Nigerian people would say. Spirit reminded me that I could listen to affirmations and abundance frequencies. So I've been listening to them. There's one playing right now. I'm just gonna keep listening to them because I know that my vibration around money and abundance and wealth and prosperity, it needs more support at this time. Spirit reminded me that moving my body is really helpful, especially when I'm feeling big feelings, because it makes it so that the energy can move through me and it's not just trapped within. They reminded me that I could talk about it. They reminded me that I could create things like this video that I'm sharing now and whatever else gets created from this experience that I've had. They reminded me of my meditation practice. And I sat in meditation and then they whispered to me ideas of services that I can offer within my business that I'm not already offering. There is always opportunity and possibility when we shift out of the way. This full super moon in Aquarius, transiting Saturn in Aquarius, squaring all this Taurus energy, all this stability energy, all this energy around our resources and how we create security for ourselves is begging the question. Do you trust yourself to create the abundance that you desire? Do you trust life to help you create the abundance that you require? Do you trust spirit to follow through on their promises of you having the abundant life that you've asked for? And if not, what's standing in the way? There have been so many fears that I've been discovering. Old shit too, generational shit. Stuff that doesn't even have my name on it. Stuff that I inherited. You know how you inherit trauma? Yeah, you inherit narratives too. Stuff that I've witnessed in terms of witnessing people have a really, really hard time and stuff just go bad and bad and bad and worse. All of that came up. And then I had to remember my life. I had to remember my heart. I had to remember my experiences of when I didn't have and somehow eventually was provided for in some way, usually surprised way. Usually one that didn't take as much from me. Capitalism is a system that is built on the forced labor, the forced slave labor of indigenous and black and brown folks. It breaks the bodies of those on the margins. And it always needs more. It is never satiated. At this time, we are being asked to check in with ourselves. Are we feeling like we're just perpetually participating in a system, in a way of thinking, in a way of moving that is creating more and more of the same types of scarcity that we've seen in the larger collective? Or are we ready to check in to what we are capable of creating because of how substantial and massive and beautiful our souls are, our minds are, our imaginations are, our drives, our motivations can be when we team up with spirit. So that's my story. I really believe that every single one of us is going to need to check in on our individual needs and our individual fears to be able to shift through this and create something new for ourselves. Divine Alchemist, angels and archangels, ancestors for our highest good, spirit animals, ascended masters, we thank you so much and we welcome you in at this time. Thank you for being present with us when we ask. Thank you for guiding us and supporting us and helping us when we ask for support. Thank you for providing clarity at all times that you do. Thank you for bringing in signs and symbols and synchronicities when we least expect, when we're ready for it, or basically when we're able to allow and receive it. Thank you for being consistent even when we fall off from connection with you. Help me to channel a clear, concise, and a powerfully healing message for those in the collective on their ascension journey, on their healing journey, for those in the collective who are feeling financially strapped and strained right now, for those who are wondering what all is going to shift for them in terms of their abundance, for those who are wondering how their self-expression could possibly connect to their financial prosperity and their sense of security and freedom. I know that you all are living in an abundant frequency, vibration. I know it. I know that in the expanse of the universe, there is more and more and more increase. There just always is. You help us to remember that the universe lives inside of us. Help us to know that we are in this world but not of it. That we're gonna get to create things that we've never even dreamed of before, or that we've dreamed of but we never thought possible. Help us to connect to the parts of us that reflect you. Help us to use those parts of us to tend to the parts of us that feel wounded and broken and fearful. And of course, we welcome your support and your reminders and your care as well. The highest praise to our guides, to our ancestors, to the Divine Alchemist, to Christ consciousness, to the Holy Spirit, to our angels and archangels. And the highest praise, of course, goes to love, kindness, community, stewardship of this earth. The highest praise goes to you all. The highest praise goes to us as well. We are all we are because of you. We are all we are because you exist. And you all get to express yourselves through us. Thank you for this beautiful connection that we get to have with you. Remind us of how exceptional and amazing and wonderful we are, and give us the humility to be able to be thankful to you, all of our guides, all of our ancestors, to be thankful to you, ascended masters, for going before us, and to also be thankful to ourselves for doing the hard work, for showing up when it was hard, for going deeper when we thought that there was nowhere else to go, and for believing in our dreams. So much gratitude to go around. I cannot thank y'all enough. And I also thank myself, and I also thank each and every viewer that is listening and watching right now. Ashe. Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading. If you have an Aries sun, an Aries rising, an Aries moon, North Node, Venus, Chiron, having a Chiron return right now if you have an Aries Chiron. Or you don't have Aries energy, but you're just drawn to this energy, you're drawn to this reading, you're drawn to the title. Welcome. You can trust yourself and your intuition. Let's see what Spirit has to say about your current relationship with money, how it may be shifting for you, or what needs to shift in order for it to get even better. We got the Death card, right out of it. A lot of changes in it. We have the Four of Wands. We have the Hanged One. And the Knight of Cups. And the Six of Swords. And we have the Page of Cups. The Ten of Swords. Yeah. I'm not uncomfortable at all. I'm a little uncomfortable. Wow. That's a lot of energy. The Seven of Knives in reverse. Okay, so the first thing I'm getting is you can trust the change that's coming. I just saw the Magician because you're actually going to be at the helm of a lot of it, Aries, which is kind of a position that I think you like to be in. It can be really scary, but you tend to go for it, you know, given the chance, the opportunity. You feel like you have the support to do so. We have the Mother of Knives. So there may be some apologies that are needed at this time, whether from you towards someone, whether from you towards yourself, or whether from someone else towards you. I would say to be careful about kind of like holding your breath for someone else to apologize to you unless you straight up ask them for an apology, because for the most part, from what I've learned, other people's journeys aren't typically about us. So if you need an apology, go ask for it. And if you don't get it, give it to your own dang self. Unfortunately, this is the guidance that I have to offer. It's not always soft. We have the Two of Sticks. We have the World card. And the Ten of Baskets. And we have the Chariot card. You are not foreign to things not going your way, Aries. That's not a foreign concept to you. You don't always just get what you want. You are a very powerful manifester, and you really attempt to support yourself and your inner belief system and your will in believing that you can have what it is that you want, or you can be who you want to be, or you can do what you want to do in this lifetime. You do a lot of work around that. Your inner world reflects this. You believe it. However, when it comes to your relationship to money, there is something that needs to be changed. It's not every part of it is serving you. The relationship that you currently have to money, to finances, to prosperity, to abundance. You can dream of what could be amazing. You are able to see what is amazing. Let yourself be grateful for what is now. Make sure you're not just living in the future. That's one that you can pick up right now. There may be other beliefs that you have around money and prosperity and abundance, but the one that I'm picking up right now is living for the future more than you're living for today. We have luck is on our side. Sagittarius energy. You are good enough. And the third one. Step out of your comfort zone. So if you have a North Node in another sign in this series, I would recommend you checking out that reading. It may supplement what you're hearing here. You're really good at manifesting. You're really good at aligning your energy to create what you want. You're really good at leaping towards what you want. But that middle period in between the fire that it takes to believe in yourself and go, and the parts that help you maintain the consistency of believing in yourself, of all of those things that are like reviewing the vision and knowing it, all of that. You know how to do those things, but in the middle, that's where it gets dicey, that's where it gets harder, because you have this mental chatter that comes up, you have these narratives, these perspectives that come up that are like, can it really be done? Or I'm really tired. Okay, maybe it can be done, but can it be done collaboratively? Does it always have to be done by me? There are some narratives that are saying that in order for you to create the life that you want, you have to do it all by yourself. You have to oversee it. You have to create it. You have to make the change that you want to see in the world. Always, always you. All the time, every time you. A lot of the times, it probably will be you. But some of those times when you're tired, or some of those times when you're doubting, those are the times that you look to the support systems in your life. When you're doubting, you need an encourager. When you're doubting, you need a counselor to be able to walk you through the doubt, or to just validate it and sit with you in it. When you're doubting, you need to sit with yourself and tell yourself, you know what, I'm doing the best I can. I hear this doubt, I understand where it's coming from. Or I don't. And you get curious by myself or by someone else about why it's coming from. And chief among everything, be grateful for what you have now. You know you're going to create the life that you want. Be grateful for what you have now. It will create a new feeling within, in addition to the doubt, in addition to the worry, in addition to the mental chatter and the narratives. It'll just create another little pocket of ease. Celebrate love. Your relationships are a divine blessing. Cherish your loved ones. Say, I love you often. You count as one of your loved ones. Make sure you're telling yourself that you love you, Aries, regularly. So, I'll just say, as within, so without. So how this relates to your relationship to money is that the way that you treat yourself is oftentimes how you treat your finances as well. Say you love you. Tell money you love it. Connect with the gratitude that you have for how it has served you thus far. Connect with what you were able to purchase recently, or the home that you're in, or the spaces that you get to visit, the galleries, the concerts, the neighborhoods, the libraries, the public spaces, the public parks, the beach, wherever it is you get to go, that money in some way helped you get there. Thank yourself, thank your guides for money being able to be used in this way for you. Allow yourself to be grateful to yourself and to money. That it was there for you to spend, it's there, it comes in when you receive it. Thank it when you receive it. Whether it's a penny, a nickel, a dollar, or $1,000. Thank yourself. Thank money. Thank your guides. Gratitude will bring in so much more. Gratitude and acceptance will help transform what feels difficult and what creates doubt within you and within us. I'll pause our reading here. Thank you for letting me read for you, Aries. And if you are drawn to another reading in this series, I'll see you very soon. And if not, I'll catch you in the future. Bye. Take good care.